Teachers, how did you catch a student cheating without saying a word? I teach 10th grade biology, and every year there's one student who thinks they're smarter than everyone else. A few years ago, that student was Ethan. He never looked at anyone else's paper. He came prepared. Every test, he'd finish first. Almost perfect scores. The strange part was that his classwork never matched. He'd forget simple terms we'd covered all week, then somehow ace every exam. I couldn't prove anything, so I never accused him. Instead, I started watching. After a few tests, I noticed something. Every exam, Ethan placed the same clear plastic water bottle on the corner of his desk. Every few minutes, he'd pick it up, slowly turn it in his hands, then put it back down. He almost never drank from it. Then I noticed something else. He only touched the bottle when he reached a difficult question. The next test, I made one small change. Before handing out the papers, I said, "Quick reminder, if anything is covering your test, I'll move it." Nobody cared except Ethan. Halfway through the exam, I walked past his desk. Without saying a word, I picked up his bottle and moved it a few inches away. His eyes followed it the whole time. For the next several minutes, he barely wrote anything. The student who always finished first became one of the last to hand in his paper. He scored 62, his lowest grade all year. After class, I picked up the bottle. It looked completely normal. Clear plastic, blue cap, a paper label wrapped around the middle. I peeled back one corner of the label. Hidden underneath was a thin strip of paper. Just a few important words, a couple of small drawings, a few reminders about the hardest parts of the chapter. Not every answer, just enough to help if he got stuck. From the outside, it looked like an ordinary water bottle. The next day, I asked Ethan to stay after class. I didn't accuse him, I didn't lecture him. I simply placed the bottle on his desk and peeled back the label. He looked at the notes, then he looked at me. Neither of us spoke after a few seconds. He pulled the paper out himself, folded it up, and threw it into the trash. That was the entire conversation. His grades weren't perfect after that, but they were honest. Years later, Ethan came back to visit after graduating. While we were talking, he smiled and asked, "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "When did you know?" "The day I moved your water bottle." He laughed. "The second you touched it, I knew I was caught." "You never said a word," he said. "That was the worst part. If you'd yelled at me, I would have denied everything. But your silence made me realize I'd already given myself away." To this day, whenever new teachers ask me how I catch students cheating, I tell them the same thing. Sometimes you don't need to accuse someone, you just need to let them realize they already gave themselves away.